Hello everyone and welcome back to the Money Man. Now today I've got a very special banknote for you which I've been trying to get hold of for quite some time. It's not a rare banknote, it can be found on eBay, but I think the eBay prices are a little bit too high. So I've been patient, I've waited, and finally my good friend Paladin from Australia managed to get hold of one for me. So big shout out to Paladin in this video. Thank you so much for getting hold of this banknote because I've wanted it for a long time. So what am I talking about? Well, if you've not seen the title already, I'm talking about the New Zealand $10 commemorative polymer banknote for the Millennium. So of course, this is it. And it was released in the year 2000, obviously, to celebrate the Millennium. Now, there's a lot going on in this banknote, so I'll try and tell you as much as possible because it's very highly detailed. And I know it looks like fantasy money because of the bright, vibrant colours, but it is actually legal tender, which you can see it tells you right down here. This note is legal tender for 10 New Zealand dollars. So, let's start off now. If you have a look right at the top here, we've got a geographical representation of New Zealand with North Island and South Island right there. And then you can see there are lots of ones and zeros just along the top here. Now that basically celebrates technology. It's basically computer coding, and that's what that's supposed to do, is celebrate New Zealand's contribution to technology. And actually you've got some very interesting symbols just down here. Now if you look, we've got the serial number, and you can see we've got the NZ prefix for New Zealand. And then if we go just down here, you can see where my thumb is, there's a small spiral. Now, spirals are quite prominent in Maori art, and they represent growth and new life. So it was quite fitting that at the turn of the millennium, that they actually introduced these small symbols that represent growth and new life. I thought that was quite fitting, really. And actually, down at the bottom, we've got a Papua shell, which symbolises basically the Pacific origins of the New Zealand people, probably the Maori people, as they are the original indigenous inhabitants of New Zealand. And you'll see all the way through this banknote that there's lots of Maori symbolism, lots of respect towards the Maori people, which I think is really nice. So what we've got in the middle basically is a large boat. And what this is supposed to represent is the beginning of a journey. So the new millennium was like, you know, entering a new journey, a new century, a new journey for the world, really, for humanity, but particularly for the New Zealand people. And it also supposed to represent New Zealand's fighting spirit. So I thought that was quite nice. Again, you'll notice in a lot of Maori culture, the warrior is very prominent, and the idea of strength is very important as well. So the fighting spirit is quite a big part of that cultural tradition. So it's well represented in this banknote. And you can see we've got these two leaves here in this reflective security window. These two leaves actually are one of the symbols, unofficial symbols of New Zealand, which I think is really nice. And if we just have a look here, you can see there's a satellite dish made up of little tiny dots. And what that's supposed to represent is essentially New Zealand's technological links with the world. So yeah, really fascinating. And then just up here in the middle of the 10, it's a little bit hard to see, but you get like almost like a tsunami wave. And then when you turn it up, this head appears. It's really hard for me to show you. There we go. There's a head. And it says it's a Te Upoko head, which is another Maori symbol. I'm not sure what the significance of that is, but again, it's just really a nice extra feature that they've just included in the middle of the 10. Now, let's have a look at the reverse, because there's a lot more going on the reverse. And what you'll see is that there's a continuation of the theme of water or naval activities, because obviously, you know, New Zealand is an island nation. So, you know, the water sports and things like that are quite prominently represented on the reverse. So, I'm going to do my best and try and tell you what this is. But in Maori, this is called Ko te mango pare he tohu o te moana noi akua. Now, I'm really sorry if I just butchered the pronunciation of that. I tried my best. I want to show respect to these things. And what it is, it's a hammerhead shark, which is basically a symbol of the Pacific Ocean. And you can see that, it's done in the sort of classical Maori art style, and I think that is so cool. It's a really, really beautiful image. And we've also got on the top here a sort of nod to New Zealand's more recent history. This is Mount Cook, and we've also got the Te Apoko head, which does come through when you twist it up to the light, but it's a little bit hard to see. It was easier to see when I showed you on the front face of the banknote. And basically we've got a surfer right here, which is supposed to represent vitality and youth and expression, basically. But obviously, New Zealand is quite a fantastic surfing destination. And then we've got the what we call the Kiwi lifestyle, or the typical upbringing of a New Zealand child, which is supposed to be by the sea. So again, there's lots of references to New Zealand being an island nation. And then, you can see we've got two fantastic canoes here. So again, representing all the sort of water sports that you can do in New Zealand. And then we've got a Pacific vortex just right here, which is focused around New Zealand. So there's so much symbolism to do with water here. It's really, really fascinating. And I like that what you've got is you've got Mount Cook, and then you've got the sort of vortex and the water sports, and you've got the marrying of the elements. You've got land, sea, and then you've got sky with skydiving. I think that's really, really cool. It's a really sort of nice amalgamation of these different elements into one broader large picture. Makes this banknote very, very interesting and very appealing, very visually interesting to look at. So that's why I've liked this banknote for so long. I've always been really, really interested in it because it looks totally different from many of the other Millennium Edition banknotes that were produced by many countries around the world. I'm thinking about Hungary, Romania. Many other countries produced Millennium banknotes, but this for me is the best, and it's the most interesting. There are lots of nods to New Zealand's past, but also lots of images that represent growth and a new future, and I think that's a really, really nice thing. So apologies for that. That was my dog just knocking things over. Don't be alarmed. But yeah, really fantastic banknote. It does come in this wonderful little folder. And this is not a cheap folder. It's like a little booklet, and all the information that I just gave to you came straight from this booklet. And you can see that that the main features of the banknote are represented on the front, but you've just got loads of information just crammed into here. And I haven't read all the way through this yet, but I will have a look. But you can see basically, if you want to pause it and have a look, pause the video and take a look, you're more than welcome to do so. So there's all sorts going on here. So yeah, that's what I have for you today. If you have a chance to pick up this banknote at a good price, do it, because it's a wonderful, wonderful banknote. And again, because they're legal tender, I don't know how many people tried to use these. I imagine quite a lot of people tried to keep hold of them, but some of them may have gone through circulation, so that diminishes the number of fantastic examples that are out there in UNC. But like I said, it's not rare. So don't look at it as an investment piece. This is just a fine, fine, fine collectible. So if you want to have a really good up-close look at this banknote, please go down to the link in the description. You can find my Facebook page where you can find everything that is in my collection. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys on the next one. That's the Money Man, signing out for now. Bye-bye.